Hey, good to see you. I've got a lot of exciting news to share today. Later in the video, I've got some info about a plug-in hybrid Ford Maverick, a railroad embargo possibly affecting California Ford Lightning deliveries, and a new truck being developed by Geely, which may be released by Volvo or Polestar in the not-too-distant future. But right now, let's discuss whether or not the Silverado EV can take some attention away from the Ford Lightning and steal its thunder. I'm Patrick with Truck Evolution. Based on my research and my basic paranoid state of mind, I think Chevy is its own worst enemy at the moment. The Silverado EV is a truck that will sell itself, but Chevy's overall attitude from corporate to its dealers isn't doing any favors to this wonderful opportunity. I'm not going to lie, I change my opinion about the new Silverado more often than I change my pants. I'll own up to the fact that I don't change my pants nearly as often as I should, but I do change my mind about the Silverado quite often, and I think that's because there's a lot to like, but also some things that turn me off. I'm hoping these issues will be addressed soon. I'm not the only one that thinks this way. As I mentioned in my last video, market research firm Recurrent Auto surveyed some people and determined that only 20% of Silverado reservation holders actually intend to place an order and purchase the truck. I think these results are completely inaccurate though, and I also believe that the results determined by this survey are incredibly volatile and will change weekly if not more often. My understanding is they surveyed about 200 people with reservations to purchase an EV. Doesn't appear that every one of them reserved the Silverado, so it's a very small group of people that are being used to predict the way at least 140,000 of us are thinking. Make sure to let me know in the comments section whether or not you're planning on converting your reservation to an order. Let's see if there's any truth to the results of this survey. In my last video, I made a subtle half-true joke about being one of these reservation holders that won't be purchasing the truck. And even though I'm about to purchase a Ford Lightning, I do want to and actually plan on trading in my Lightning for the Silverado, but that depends on Chevy. There's a lot of mystery surrounding this truck, and there's going to be a lot of competition. I'm expecting Chevy to sell a truck that is affordable with decent features available for the average truck driver. Right now, the only information we have is on a truck that costs $105,000, and that's the main thing that turns me off about this truck. Because when I was a kid, I used to think $1,000 was a lot of money. Now that I'm an adult, I realize that $1,000 is a tremendous amount of money. And Chevy thinks a truck that costs 105 times that will get my attention. At this point, it makes me feel like people in my tax bracket don't matter, and I think that this is a mistake by GM. They're trying to market the future of Chevy as being the brand that will make EVs affordable to everyone, and then only give information on a truck that less than 1% of consumers can afford. It's no wonder that most reservation holders haven't committed to buying this truck. Another issue that I have is that I can't find a dealer that will comment on whether or not they will sell this truck at MSRP. I'm honestly getting really tired of being told, and I quote, "I will need some time to get some information for you. A member of our team will get back to you." It's the same answer with the same script every time I ask the question. This kind of actually may be the reason that I don't place an order because of the lack of transparency. And it's not just my dealer. I've been reading complaints from others as well, and if Chevy can get their act together, this truck will be a hit. But their own dealers may be the reason if this truck doesn't stir up much excitement. Ford has dealers that are detrimental to their brand too. But it was easy to find a dealer that would put a promise of MSRP in writing from the beginning. At this time, GM has only announced plans to produce the fully loaded launch edition RST and the $40,000 very basic WT. There have been sightings of another truck driving around Michigan that looks to be somewhere in between these two trims, and I think that it's a safe bet that this is probably an LT. Not too long ago, there were reports of the Ford Lightning being spotted on the streets for the first time, and now a couple thousand people actually own Ford Lightnings. Before that, it was the Rivian R1T, and now I see them all the time. I'm hoping this means that there will be more transparency by GM soon. The reason for the lack of transparency could be a direct result of General Motors not completely having their minds made up. After all, although Ford was more transparent than Chevy from the beginning, they kept a lot of secrets as well. Or Chevy could be operating on the logic that, if you can't convince them, confuse them. Some of the original statements made by Ford, including those off the record, seem like lies now, but may have been the original plan. And maybe Chevy's trying to avoid the criticism that Ford took from consumers. I think Chevy is going to limit the amount of WT models that they sell. I guarantee you that they do not want to sell any WTs, but their hand has been forced. GM has the problem that even a boring $40,000 truck will stir up more excitement than the best truck available at a price that's out of reach. If we learned anything from Ford, it's likely that GM will follow suit and offer a predetermined number of each type of vehicle. They will probably stick with only offering a basic WT and fully loaded RST in the very beginning to cut back on costs and speed up production, but after that you'll probably have to wait in line and hope that your preferred trim and features are still available. Think of it in the same terms as when someone brings in a box of assorted flavored donuts to work and leaves it in the break room for everyone to share. The best toppings will be the first to get eaten. You didn't know that these donuts were there, so you got stuck choosing from the flavors of donuts that no one else wanted. To put this in perspective with how things went with the Ford Lightning ordering process, ordering was done in waves to keep the process organized. With the overwhelming demand for electric trucks, I expect Chevy to borrow aspects of this strategy. Think of Wave 1 as the people who were already in the break room when the donuts arrived. Wave 1 had the fewest number of invitations. In fact, less than one person per dealer was invited to Wave 1. Not everyone placed an order, and still the Pro trim sold out before Wave 1 ended. This leads me to believe that either the WT trim will sell out immediately, or there will not be as much value in the WT trim as there is in the Lightning Pro, which may allow Chevy to make enough profit to sell more of them. Either way, the WT will sell out. Wave 2 and 3 were the people who were told later about the donuts in the break room and had a decent selection. In my case, even though the Pro sold out, I had options, but I had to make a judgment call between a $55,000 XLT that doesn't offer much more than the Pro and a Lariat trim that I'll struggle to make the payments on, but seems to be worth the price. I chose to get the Lariat standard range, and my bank account is not happy about it. The Silverado equivalent will be when people eventually have the choice of an LT and probably a cheaper RST without many of the features that the six-figure launch edition comes with. Then when all of these orders are placed, the rest of your coworkers will come to the break room and decide if they want to purchase the remaining RSTs that haven't been sold out yet, or leave them for someone with a larger budget. Tesla set the trap by offering a $40,000 Cybertruck that they never had any intention of actually making. Ford took the bait and offered the Pro model at the same price. So now Chevy is stuck making the WT at a similar price, and the WT will be the first truck to sell out and will likely be delivered very slowly in limited numbers. As a result, the WT will likely be a bargain for what you actually get, but won't offer anything exciting that residential customers are expecting this truck to have, nor will it have the features that commercial customers are counting on. As a result, Chevy will probably do what Ford is doing with the Pro trim and only offer certain features to fleet customers that order at least a predetermined number of vehicles as to not lose out on the most important type of customers that every truck manufacturer relies on. There will be other trims available, but since GM was forced by their competitors to make the WT at this price, they're going to do everything they can to limit our access to this truck and make it as undesirable and difficult to purchase as they can reasonably get away with. To make a short story long, will the Silverado EV steal Ford's thunder? Probably not. Demand is so high for these trucks right now that neither company will be able to build them fast enough. As a self-proclaimed EV truck enthusiast, I will go on the record and state that the existence of both the Silverado EV and the Ford Lightning will be very good for consumers regardless of which one is the favorite. Ford and Chevy will force each other to build the best truck at the best price, and eventually Ram will have to do the same. In my opinion, the only thing more important for the future of trucks than the Ford Lightning and the Silverado EV would be a plug-in hybrid truck. This would allow people to drive an EV and charge at home but not be subject to range anxiety and not have to worry as much about how much added time it will take to get to your destination on a long drive, especially when towing a trailer. There have been sightings of what appear to be a plug-in hybrid Ford Maverick. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for all your plug-in hybrid Ford Maverick news because I plan to cover this extensively once Ford confirms that a plug-in hybrid truck is in the works. I'm actually hoping that as the infrastructure for hydrogen vehicles gets built out, that someone decides to build a hydrogen truck. Australian startup H2X appears to be working on a hydrogen electric pickup truck based on the Ford Ranger. There's no news on whether or not H2X plans on selling this truck in the US, but if this truck has success in Australia, don't be surprised if someone develops a hydrogen electric truck for the US market. As many of you may remember, Nikola had plans to build a truck called the Badger, which was supposed to be an electric truck with an optional hydrogen generator, but due to the controversy created by Trevor Milton, the former CEO, basically being a fraud, General Motors, who had a deal with Nikola to build the Badger, decided that they didn't want to partner with Nikola anymore, and the Badger never got made. Now Nikola appears to be headed in the right direction under new leadership, but is focusing strictly on making hydrogen and electric semi-trucks with no more mention of the Badger. For a moment, I'd like you all to pretend that I made a smooth transition into this next topic, but honestly, I've got no idea how, so I'm just going to say it. I'm feeling a little discouraged. I think mine and every other person in California who has a Ford Lightning currently in transit may be delayed until August. The reason for this is because our trucks are being transported through Bnsf, and Bnsf has a railroad embargo in place until July 31st to repair a damaged section of track. I haven't been able to get clarification from Ford or my dealer about this, and this has me concerned. My dealer has been great. I've really got no complaints. I always get a quick response to my emails, but on this topic I haven't gotten a response. I also called Ford and spoke with 2 different agents who didn't know if there are delays to California. I've read that people who have trucks shipped after the embargo was announced will have their trucks transported by Union Pacific, and those people will probably have their trucks delivered before mine, even though it was shipped later. This information isn't confirmed by Ford and is hearsay gathered from online forums, so I can't verify its authenticity. It is what it is. For those of you with the same uncertainty that I have, let's try to stay positive. We are fortunate to have been able to get a truck built in a time when many early reservation holders may have to wait more than a year from now to place an order. This embargo was put in place for safety reasons. I'm sure we all want the train conductor and other railroad staff to get home safely to their families more than we care about getting our trucks within the specific dates that we were given. Less importantly, it would be an even longer wait for our trucks if the train derails. I say let's hope for the best but prepare for the worst. And have a little patience. Maybe our trucks aren't even affected. Hopefully there will be updates soon. I'll leave any updates pinned in the comment section. If they are, maybe the news of a new electric truck being in the works will cheer you up. That's right. Geely, the parent company of Volvo and Polestar, is developing a new compact lifestyle truck tentatively named Radar. It appears to be a small, light-duty truck to compete with the Ford Maverick and the Hyundai Santa Cruz, but it'll probably be more luxurious, which as we all know means more expensive. I'm predicting that it'll be more likely to compete with the Rivian R1T for those who don't actually want to take their truck off-road. Once again, make sure to subscribe if you're interested in the Radar because I plan on sharing as information becomes available. You made it to the end. Thank you for watching. This means a lot to me in the future of this channel, and if you want to help out more, make sure to subscribe to this channel and like this video. And check out my other videos for more content related to electric trucks. Once again, thank you and have a wonderful day.